need to know at this time? Oh, okay. So I feel like this is a collective that is shifting, experiencing a spiritual upgrade, and feeling a sense of renewal, new hope, and optimism as it relates to love. This is also an energy that's aspirational, okay? Heavy on the aspirational, okay? This is a collective that is recognizing that they can have whatever they want as it relates to love. And I feel like this wasn't always the energy, okay? Past energy here, you did put in the work to get to this point. I feel like you have stayed committed to this path of self-knowing, of like learning what you needed to be able to feel safe as it relates to love. This is a lot of healing energy as well. This is also really tuning into yourself emotionally, physically, spiritually. So there's a lot of growth. There's a major transformation here happening, okay? And some of you are just starting to recognize that growth at this time, okay? But this is translating into you creating some new boundaries and establishing what you are desiring as it relates to love and recognizing that you don't have to settle. I said what I said. You don't have to settle. Healing, growing, evolving, transforming, radiating, glowing, all of the things, okay? Recognizing that you don't have to settle, recognizing that you deserve the world and you will have it, okay? There's the difference. It's one thing to say, okay, I know objectively, theoretically, I deserve the world. Cliche bumper sticker, I deserve it all. But to actually know it and like stand on business and like ground yourself and root yourself in that knowing, to say like, I'm not going to even respond to an offer, to an inquiry, to an action, to behavior, unless I have assessed that it is in alignment with that awareness of self-worth, right? It's one thing to be aware that you have self-worth. It's another thing to actually protect that. This is the energy of you protecting your self-worth, okay? And I know that this is an esoteric message, and I know that many of you are like, get to the good stuff and get to the love offers and get to the... We'll get there. I promise. Okay, you're in good hands here. We've done 17,000 of these. Okay. We're in a flow state. We're in a flow state. And this is a collective as well that I feel like has been more patient or shifting into a place in which they're finding their patience as it relates to love. Because you do have to be patient when you are in this energetic state, when you are in this vibrational state, because you don't want to be with just anyone, right? For some of you, you have learned that it's not just love in feeling, it's also love in action. So I feel this energy of waiting for people to essentially prove themselves out via their actions. Waiting for individuals to show you who they are through their behavior, a pattern of behavior, in fact. Okay? That's the difference. You know what you deserve, you know what you desire, and you're unwilling to compromise. That's this energy. Okay? Tell me about the energies outside of my collective in love at this time. Oh, damn. I feel like there's somebody who feels like they're losing you. Okay? There's someone here who feels like they're losing you. We will look at new love as well, but there is someone in the past that is connected to this collective. Could be a water sign, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. I feel Pisces. I also feel Aquarius, Libra, Gemini. Okay? This person feels like you may be viewing this relationship as something you are better off without, or something that could impede your balance or could prevent you from staying in this place of harmony that you have now cultivated for yourself. So it's like this person views you as almost showing that you're better off without them. And maybe they're actually viewing you and like feeling like, wow, maybe they are better off without me. It's so interesting because I feel this person like looking at you, like not sweating the fact that you've moved through this. And they're heavily dreaming about you specifically. This is someone who could have told you that they dreamt about you in the past. I feel a strong 5D connection here. It could be telepathic as well. But it's almost like this person is too stubborn to speak up or to address the fact that they've lost us, or they feel like they've lost us, so they're just hiding. There's this energy of like hiding in their head, hiding in their dreams. But they're still watching you. They're definitely still watching you. And strong, strong, strong spiritual connection here. Okay, strong spiritual connection. But yeah, I feel like this is somebody who's almost trying to pretend that this doesn't affect them to the degree that it does. Because if they acknowledge the fact that they lost you, if they acknowledge the fact that they're, not only just that they've lost you, okay, to be clear, this is two different shames that are coming up. One, the feeling of losing you. Two, the feeling of I couldn't be the person that could match their power. I couldn't be the person that could level up, that could step into that same embodiment that you have, right? You have stepped into this embodiment of expansion. You are attracting abundance. You've experienced a lot of growth and transformation. You could be a Libra. I feel strong air energy here, Aquarius, Libra, Gemini. But there's two areas of shame here. It's not just that they've lost you. It's the fact that they've lost a version of themselves that they didn't have the courage to create. Damn, she went there already. 1:17 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The sun's still out and she is roasting reading. But it's for a good cause. Okay. This is somebody who feels like they've lost a version of themselves that they were not able to create. They didn't have the bravery to create this version of themselves. They were afraid. They were afraid. Tell me what the fear was based on with this person's energy. See, it takes courage to be somebody who is aspirational like yourself. It takes a lot of bravery to say, you know what? I know I deserve better and now I'm going to go out and get it. That's your energy. That's this collective's energy. You know you deserve better and you are also stepping forward boldly into this place of vulnerability to set an intention around that with a state of patience and composure while this new opportunity or new path or that better comes in. There's always a bit of a delay in between declaring you deserve better and receiving said betterness. That's where you are. You're currently in the delay. That takes bravery. That takes courage. Okay? And you are in that state of courage. This person's viewing you as being brave and courageous and confident. And they're also seeing themselves as afraid to ask for what they want. They're afraid. Because there's a part of them that's like, well, what if I reach for that and I don't get it? What if I put myself out there to be able to declare that that's what I desire and I'm unable to receive that? Okay? So there is avoidance here. There is avoidance here. And I feel that this is the last opportunity potentially for this person. What is my collective feeling about this person at this time? Some of you just feel like your beliefs are too different. Or that the two of you are working through some type of shifting of belief systems. Some of you feel like this person is trying to control the way that they present themselves to the world. Even the way they present themselves to you. And there's a lot of hiding energy here. There's a hiding energy here. Okay? What is the current state of this relationship at this time? I actually feel like this connection right now feels like it has a higher spiritual purpose on your side as you have alchemized it to be able to receive said better. Like this is a collective that saw this connection, felt overwhelmed by the intensity for a time, but then learned how to transmute that as a form of personal power. Okay? The emotions were heavy. I still feel like you do love this person. The emotions are very strong, but I feel like you've learned how to channel those emotions for productive gain. So this is a collective that has become spiritually agile, adaptive. It's as if you can observe in this instance, something coming up to the surface, and you know how to be able to utilize that to work through the process of alchemy. Okay? So where is this person in the connection at this time? They are isolating themselves. They're isolating themselves. For some of you, this is somebody who is healing an inner child wound that was creating a conflict in your relationship in the past. Okay? They are healing an inner child wound that has caused them to retreat from your connection. And it feels like this is a necessary period of separation or distance. And I feel that there is a decision here that is required to be made. So for those of you who see this connection as something that you've already evolved beyond simply because a decision was not being made, you made the right choice. When someone decides not to make a choice, you make a choice for yourself. And frankly, we should always be choosing for our own path and not be waiting for anyone else to dictate our fate. This is somebody who delayed the process for too long in making a decision. Okay? And it feels like for some of you there was a third party here, not all, but for some of you there was a third party or some type of family entanglement that was causing them to more heavily weight how they were perceived or what their duty was or requirements were in that world versus how they treated you or how they prioritized the relationship. Okay? So I feel like in this instance, this decision has not been made by this individual, which means you have given yourself the opportunity to move beyond this. And it feels like, again, that was the right choice to make. That was the right choice to make. Tell me a little bit more about the energy on my collective side here. So I feel like for a long time you were acting from an egoistic place. You were acting from a place of a wound of not being chosen and really wanting this person to come back forward and validate something in you that was hurting. I don't see you there anymore. I don't see you there anymore, because you recognize that you were just keeping yourself stuck. You were just keeping yourself hurting, waiting on this person to do healing work that they were neglecting. So I see at this time, you're just seeing things as they are. You're seeing things as they are. You're seeing things impartially, which means you're not taking it personally. You're like, oh, they're not going to heal? That's fine. I'm not going to sit around and suffer while they decide that they need to heal, or while they decide that they're ready to grow. You're not holding yourself captive on their behalf. That's the difference. You are not holding yourself captive on their behalf. And this is not a bad individual. But this is somebody that I feel like needs to go on the same journey that you've already gone on. For some of you, this is someone that you wanted so badly to grow with you, but they just couldn't match your pace. For many of you in this collective, you have had this happen many times throughout your life, and you've always taken it personally. When relationships ultimately dissipated, or when people left your life ceremoniously, or at early stages in relationships. And again, you would often look to yourself as the source of this consequence or this result, saying, is there something I did or something I said? No, it's because you grow too fast. You evolve too fast. You transform at a speed that is rapid and accelerated. So your lesson was not to go back and to try to negotiate with somebody who is not as committed to the journey as you have been. But this has happened time and time again throughout your journey, whether it was friendship, romantic, or otherwise. You have out-healed them, you have outgrown them, but you would keep yourself stuck in contempt, waiting on them to catch up with you. Not anymore. Not anymore. Again, you see things impartially. You see things as they are. You recognize that if you stick around waiting for someone else to grow, that is you denying yourself the opportunity to appreciate how far you've come, to show yourself gratitude, to reward yourself for the growth that you've incurred. Because if anything else, do you ever notice that when you have outgrown a relationship, platonic, romantic, or otherwise, or outgrown a situation, you don't get rewarded for staying there to support others? In fact, if anything, sometimes you become resented because you are a mirror to everything they have not yet done, to the progress they have not yet made. All the meanwhile, you think that they're going to celebrate you and thank you, and you're expecting some type of parade in your honor. Never takes place. That parade never comes. And I promise you, it has nothing to do with you as to why the parade doesn't come. It's because people's behaviors and actions are always due to their own idiosyncrasies, their own psyche, where they are on the path. Okay? So this is a collective that is no longer sticking around waiting for other people to grow. And that is an act of self-love. That's an act of self-love, because as you decide to choose the path that you've already earned, you've already leveled up, you've already upgraded, you're already on the next level. Okay? Imagine you're like a video game. You're on the next level. Okay? Now you get to see all that is available to you. It's like you've unlocked a new timeline. You've unlocked new abundance, new opportunities. You know, all of these new aspects of your life are now available to you because you've done the work. You've made the commitments to yourself. So in essence, you're showing yourself how much you appreciate the commitments you made to yourself in that prior path, that prior level. Okay? In that prior level, when you did that hard work, when you stayed committed, even when it wasn't easy, amidst the challenge, you had tenacity, you were determined, you were resilient. And now you get to unlock this brand new path, this new cycle full of rewards. So take what's yours. To the victor goes the spoils. Take what's yours. Stop waiting around slumming it with the commoners who haven't yet done the work. And I say that lovingly. Okay, all tea, all shade, all love. Final advice for this collective moving forward as it relates to love. In your own paradise. Beautiful, beautiful. Okay? No one can trick you unless you let them. Okay? And I don't feel like this is somebody who was deceptive or malevolent. I don't feel like this is somebody who was intentionally trying to take advantage. That's the lesson, though. This isn't about waiting for someone to come around the corner who's got some type of ulterior motive or plan. This isn't so simplistic and black and white and protagonist, antagonist. It's not to that degree. It's about recognizing that you are on your own path. And when you focus on your path, when you train your eyes on your own path, that's when you start to see beyond any apparent deception. Nobody can pull the wool over your eyes when you're this clear. When you are this untethered, when you are this powerful, no one can pull the wool over your eyes. Nobody can trick you. When you're focusing on their path and overly empathizing or trying to relate to their circumstances because you want them to meet you where you are, that's when you get taken advantage of, okay? Because again, you're disconnected from your reality. So this is about you staying connected to your reality and you accepting this reward that you've gained. Some of you have a wound around like perfection or like wanting to be seen as accepted or loved or chosen. And again, that came from a very early place. And I feel for many of you, you're working through that. And you're realizing that it's more important at this time to focus on what you're creating versus focusing on whether other person can accept what you've already created in your past. Okay? So, final advice moving forward for this collective. This is all about spiritual growth. This was a very esoteric message. This was completely devoid of like the juicy, lovey tidbits that we usually get. And we can look at just that in isolation. But I feel like this is the message a lot of you needed. Okay? You have done the work. You have done the work. You have been committed to the work. Okay? Your guardian angels are with you. They are supporting you. They are here with you at this time. You have ancestors that are so proud of the commitment you've made to yourself and your path, that are looking at you and your life and what you've been able to create for yourself and just think, wow, thank goodness, thank God. Like so impressed, so taken, so captivated, so in awe. Okay? And I feel like that's where this collective is shining at this time. It's like breaking free from old patterns, old limitations, old cycles. It feels like your vulnerability, your willingness to say, I deserve better, whether it's love, whether it's career, maybe for some of you, it's finances, right? Maybe for some of you, you grew up in poverty or like there were generations of ancestors who came before you who are now seeing you living your best life or in the process of manifesting your best life. And that's because you allowed yourself to be vulnerable enough to put yourself out on a limb and say, I deserve better. And I'm willing to take a chance to receive that better. Okay? That's the core of this message. There is freedom that comes from vulnerability. Because when we don't allow ourselves to say, I deserve better, we stay stuck in what we think we deserve. And often that comes from a place before us. That comes from somebody who raised us and the people that raised them. Okay? This is a collective that I feel like is really tuned in to the part of them that knows that they are meant for more. In every aspect of your life. This is a collective that's not meant to play small. And now that you're owning that, now that you are fully committed, let the path unfold accordingly. Okay? I hope that message was helpful for my collective, sending so much love, positive energy, and abundance. If you enjoyed that collective message, 1111 down below. Okay? Woo! Shimmy, 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 yeah. I